oh my gosh, you guys have wonderful, vigorous, new energy. Right, that's Ace of Wands. And Ace of Wands is the Ace of Fire. So fire has to do with action, with passion, with enthusiasm, with energy. It's sort of just like a fresh new day, Sag. And that's, you guys are pretty happy-go-lucky. You guys like to kick up your heels, go traveling, all that kind of stuff. You guys, you know, I think of you as like the optimistic, sunny, fiery sign anyway. So this is a fire card, and it has to do, this is Ace of Wands. So this is, all aces are new beginnings, new starts. It's a fresh start. I think you, Sag, can really experience and feel that this is a fresh start into this new year. So I'm really happy for you guys, and it's got the enthusiasm and the vitality and the vigor and like just the wonderful parts of Ace of Wands is acknowledging this fresh start to the new year. It's like a fresh, clear new day. And by the way, Ace of Wands, the archetype of Ace of Wands is just as the same as the baton thrower who's out in front of a parade. If you think about a parade and there's that person who throws the baton out front, that's Ace of Wands energy. So it's like leading a new charge, celebrating, bringing in the new. It's like, you know, it's got that celebratory feel of a parade. And that's Ace of Wands. So that's showing up for you. Another archetype of Ace of Wands is the runner in a race, who is the active element. Like if you think about a relay race and how they pass the baton, whoever has that baton is the runner who's active, who's taking action, who's got the energy. They are the one who is in the race. So this is a new beginning, Sag. Action, energy, optimism, all those great, actually, Sagittarian words, because you guys are that fire sign anyway. Fresh new start for you. That's what I'm getting straight out of the gates. And you guys are embracing it. I do get the sense that you're going to have to fight something that is seductive and has you maybe roped in, maybe even something related to your passions, Sag. This is Devil in reverse. So in the upright position, Devil is about believing in things that are not true, getting swept away by passion, getting seduced by things. There's sort of like lies that we tell ourselves, or things that we become addicted to and then eventually enslave us. So some of us may get seduced by sex, or some of us may get seduced by gambling or by food, or by, there's a million different things you could be addicted to, drugs, or you could even be making money for some. It could be greed, it could be anything that we become enslaved to through our addiction to it. So whatever that's showing up for as you, for some people it's cigarette smoking, you know, anything that looked good at first, you know, and gave us a pleasure hit at first, but then as we do it more and more, we're finding we want more and more of it, we need more and more of it, and eventually it becomes controlling of us, or believing in false things that are false, you know, fears, doubts that we buy into. That's all devil energy. And when devil's in reverse, it may be something that we're not admitting to ourselves. So there may be some sort of false god or false worship that you are buying into. It can't even just be false beliefs, Sag, that you're buying into that maybe you're not seeing or you're not admitting to yourself. So this here is saying be careful of seductions. And now this could even just be like falling into, you know, new energy for new diet and exercise regime, new enthusiasm about life, new willing to take it on. But this could be like, you know, those midnight snacks that you have that you're kind of like, oh, no one's going to see this. Or just even saying, you know, admitting to yourself, maybe I have a addiction to money or superficiality, or, you know, whether it shows up for you as shopping or just believing certain things about whatever addiction you might have, or whatever seduces you, whatever you become enslaved to. Try to take a clear look at that, Sag, because it's affecting you. It's just that in the reverse position, it's even a little bit more sneaky and hidden. It's what it's saying to me is that there might be something that you're addicted to, even a false belief, even believing in something that's not true, that you're not seeing it, and therefore it's keeping you enslaved, it's keeping you ensnared, it's keeping you stuck or connected or stymied. You know, in Devil, there's two people at the bottom of the card, a male and a female, that are naked, and they've got chains around their necks. And so it's sort of like saying you can only go this far. You're kind of stuck. I'm not going to let you go any further because you must believe in me, which is false. And one of the things I always point out with this card is that those chains are loose enough that you can take them off of you if you choose to. If you choose to say, I no longer am willing to believe in this. I no longer am willing to subscribe and bow down to these false truths. I'm free. That is standing up to Devil. That is saying, no, you're not the ruler of me. I'm the ruler of me. I make decisions for myself. I embrace free will. So I'm going to say free will and willpower, your own willpower, your own will, are the way out of this. But the first step in getting there, Sag, is acknowledging what it is that is a false belief that you're buying into. This says to me in reverse, are you even admitting it to yourself? Are you even aware of it? Or is this guy operating under the surface? Is there a way that you're getting seduced by something? Are you believing something that's untrue that you're not admitting to yourself? I'm not sure. But the next card that comes up is Queen of Cups. And this usually is a water sign. So this more than likely is a Pisces or a Scorpio or a Cancer. And this is someone who is not being seen right now, or they're not helpful to you, or you're passing over them, or there's some way in which they're in reverse. Now, this could be a person that you're addicted to, by the way, Sag, because Devil and Queen of Cups are together in reverse here. And by the way, what's also in reverse is Two of Wands, which has to do with your vision, your personal power, your dreams for the future, like where you want to go, what you want to achieve, the mountains that you want to climb. I always call this card having the world in the palm of your hand, or feeling like the world is your oyster. This is a 2 card. So this has to do with partnership. And this has to do with receiving help. So question, Sag, is there a way in which there's a water sign, especially with her with all these pearls and this person carrying the pearl? Is there a way that you're getting like sucked into these old beliefs or these old habits or these old, I kind of feel like Devil's sort of laughing over there and saying, you know, I've convinced you to believe these childhood fears or these childhood doubts, or, you know, things that you acquired over time that are not true, and that may be causing you to doubt or fear something with a water sign. And especially as it relates to your dreams and your ambitions, this could be someone who could be helpful to you. I always call this card, you know, climbing the mountaintop as well, because I see it as someone who's ready to ascend to a mountaintop, but they're doing it through the help of this Sherpa person, the secondary person. And she's got all these pearls on her, like pearls of wisdom. And this is someone who's carrying a pearl of wisdom too. So there is a certain amount of camaraderie between these two, but I get the sense that it's throwing things in reverse, Sag, because you're buying into, this is like a blockade to this. This is what's flipping these upside down too, is that as long as you stay addicted to the drug, whatever it is, you know, money, shopping, food, gambling, drugs, addiction, beliefs, lies, old programming, whatever that is, you'll know more than me anything that has seduced you, that and even your lack of awareness of it, your lack of admitting that to yourself, Sag, is what is going to keep this at bay. You're not going to receive the help that you want to receive and tap into your personal power, your confidence, your boldness. These are all the things of like, I'm ready to scale that mountain. That's being kept underwater and kept at bay as long as this guy's in control. So what are your inner demons, Sag, that you're not confronting, because you have the energy to confront that. You have the vitality. You're ready to take anything on. You just got to confront this guy. You have to get to the point where you see him and you laugh at him, rather than letting him control you and seduce you and keep you limited, rather than giving your power over to him, because it's blocking you from receiving help from this really compassionate person. This Queen of Cups is all about intuition. She's about compassion. She operates from the heart. She's loving. She's tender-hearted. She's caring. You know, whether that's a water sign like Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or whether that's just someone who embodies that archetype, she's in reverse, inaccessible, you know, not able to help you with achieving your dreams or your desires or your passions or your longings, your yearnings, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. This is a helpful person, but it's in reverse, Sag, until you deal with this guy. So what are the false beliefs that you may be buying into, that you may be seduced by, maybe old programming? See if you can acknowledge to yourself, is there anything under the surface that's operating like a tape that is controlling and influencing my behavior, my desires, my actions, that is not mine, that is not my own free will? That's a question for you at the beginning of January, because you have so much enthusiasm and vigor and energy. It's like a clear, fresh day. So use that, Sag. I think you can get through this. In the middle of the month, I see this is like getting in the game, Sag. This is Five of Wands. So I call this card playing versus fighting, because it has a lot of Mars energy, which is the warrior planet and God. And it could either be seen as like kids playing, you know, just having fun, playing, raising these staves and playing, like maybe just dancing in a circle, or like, you know, fake combat. Or it could be open warfare. It could be like literally 5 people getting together ready to go light a building on fire. So I always ask, is this card for you showing up as playing or fighting? Or could it be that you take a situation that looks like fighting and turn it into playfulness? Like, I always think of sport when I see this card too, because it's like mock war, where it could be, it's basically like competition is a good word for this card, because it's Mars energy, it's fighting, but it might just be bringing out the best in you, Sag. I mean, it's a fire element card. And when you get into the competition, sometimes it brings out the best in us. Sometimes it causes us to push harder and further to show better parts of ourselves, because we're striving to compete. So this card really is about being in the game, participating, getting back into it. You know, maybe this is just connecting with yourself, connecting with your own motivation, your own enthusiasm, like beginning new. And then this is like engaging with others. Like, I'm just going to say it again, getting in the game, participating, competing, fighting for it, you know, going for it, playing even. It can just be like, sometimes this can show up as flirtation, because it's just that fiery Mars energy. It can be really fun. Or it can just be like an open brush fire, you know, an open wildfire that's very destructive. But regardless, it's fire energy, it's Mars energy, it's warring, or it's playing. So how does that show up for you? It's like some sort of competition, Sag, getting into it. This is Star, which has to do with accepting yourself as you are. In this card, we have a naked woman, and her nakedness reflects that she doesn't need any of the outside world's trappings, status, clothing, definitions, any of that to exist and recognize her own divine beauty, inherent worthiness, her value. She is just as worthy and inherently valuable as the star, as the bird, as the tree, as the flower. She is a part of nature, just as any of these other elements are, and they each have their own radiance, their own inner glow through just being exactly what they are. You know, the bird is just is as a bird is. The tree just is as a tree is, and it has value just as it is. Same with her. So this is a card of accepting yourself, aside from any like definitions of who you are, of how society defines you, of anything aside from just you as a person in your own natural existence in nature here on earth. And it's a real card of balance, you know, emotional balance. That's as represented by the water here, and being grounded. This is earth energy. She's got one foot on each. She's close to the ground. So it shows a certain amount of humility, just acceptance of herself as she is. And by the way, when you tap into that, when you accept that and honor that, your own natural inherent radiance, creates hope. That's what star is about as well. So it's about radiance, hope, serenity, feeling like things are integrated, feeling like things are refreshed. I'm really getting, by the way, Sag, that you're feeling quite refreshed. Both this card star and this card fool are wonderful cards of optimism. This card means hope, just as it is. I mean, one of its primary definitions is hope. This card is about openness. Fool is the zero card, when all things are possible. All things are open to him. He's on an adventure. All things are fresh and new. It really kind of echoes the freshness of this card, Ace of Wands. So I'm really getting renewal for you at the middle of the month, Sag. Self-acceptance and kind of feeling like a child again. Kind of feeling open-hearted, connecting with like trusting in the universe, having faith. That's actually another similarity that these cards have, is both of these cards have faith. So I'm getting renewal and themes of faith for you in the middle of the month. It's wonderful, Sag. Those are great cards for you. And then this card, Knight of Coins, is also showing up. This is usually an earth sign. So this could be Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. But it could be anyone who has the archetype of Knight of Coins, which is steadfast, practical, plans things, looks at the map, considers the budget. You know, he's an earth sign, so he's considering what is the bottom line, what does it take for the bottom line. He's Jack of Diamonds also is the translation. That's the salesman card. So he like drives a hard bargain, considers the bottom line, considers like what's going to be the effort that's required versus the return. That's this guy's kind of a synopsis on things, or his outlook. So the sense I get is that there is a sense of renewal, and there is a sense of hope, and there is this sense of feeling open, feeling like you have faith. But unlike Fool, this guy just goes out without a plan. This guy's like, okay, I'm open. My heart is open to the world. I'm breaking open to the world. I have all this hope. I have all this optimism. How am I going to put it into plans? What's my course of action going to be, is what Knight of Coins says. Like, how am I going to be practical about this? What are my next steps? This is such a, like, to me, in some ways, such a Virgo card of like, how am I going to cross my T's? Where am I going to dot my I's? What's going to be step A through Z? So this is the man with the plan. So once you are open, this is like deciding that you're going to travel the world or something, and then this is buying your ticket, or, you know, planning out your route. So enjoy that, Sag. I mean, you tend to be very optimistic as it is anyway, so this is giving you a lot of hope and renewal. And then this is a practical application of that. Where are you going to set out because of that? Towards the end of the month, we have interesting here. We have Knight of Cups and Queen of Coins, and they're both looking in the same direction off in the distance here. So Queen of Coins is actually the next evolution of Knight of Coins. She's the next level of mastery, of knowledge, of being the queen of the castle, being established, especially financially, but also in terms of security, domestic things, assets, possessions, anything having to do with finances. She's in the reverse, though. So there's a couple of ways, and so is Knight of Cups. There's a couple ways that these two characters together could be interpreted. I'm just going to throw a couple different ones out there. This could literally be the departure of a water sign person and an earth sign person. This could be giving a message of the heart. That's what Knight of Cups is about. Giving a message of love to someone, but she's leaving anyway.